Hi Booktube, welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie and I'm here to do a review. I'm here to review the spellbook of Katrina von Tassel, a retelling of Sleepy Hollow by Alyssa Palumbo. So, as I said, this is a retelling of Sleepy Hollow through Katrina's eyes. This is about her experience with this infamous specter that haunts their town, and her fears about it, and also her budding romance with Ichabod Crane. So this is a situation where first let me tell you, I was like with Alice in Wonderland, the original story, Sleepy Hollow, is not my favorite. In fact, I remember being a little bit disappointed, which I recall being warned that I would be. In fact, I think it was Terry from Florida herself who warned me, but it's been so long, and of course she probably won't remember, and I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly. And I did see a play version of Sleepy Hollow, and I'm being disappointed. I think I fell asleep. So the fact that I've seen like 2 books that I've seen play versions that I fell asleep during, I should have told me that I wouldn't like the book. But at least there's, unlike Grapes of Wrath, Sleepy Hollow was short. It was not that long. So at least I got through it. I could get through it quickly. Now I did like Washington Ivy's writing and stuff, and there were little things here and there that I enjoyed, and I did think there were parts of it that were funny. But I prefer adaptations, like Tim Burns' adaptation of Sleepy Hollow, and I like the Fox TV show that from a couple years ago, Sleepy Hollow. And I also like, there was an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode that I did a review for a couple years ago, The Tale of the Midnight Ride, where one of the members tells a modern retelling of Sleepy Hollow that I enjoyed as well. So in this one, like I said, it's Katrina's perspective. So she plays a more active role in the story, and we get to know her as a character, and she's also someone that is very well read, so she's very smart. She has strong feelings on things. She knows what she wants. She's also a young girl that's impulsive and very passionate, and it can get her into trouble at times. And she knows that she loves Ichabod. She doesn't love Braun. She loves Ichabod and wants to be with him, wants to marry him, While in the original story, she was just a beautiful, wealthy woman. Although some people have said that it's been a long time since I read it, but some people have said they felt like Katrina had more to her than met the eye. Like, there was more to her character that was hinted at. We just didn't get to see it in the original source material because it was focused more on the 2 men that wanted her. We also, in the original story, Ichabod is not that likable. He's just like kind of a bumbling idiot who only wants to marry Katrina because she's wealthy and beautiful. While in this one, he's actually very likable. He's very charming. He's very sweet. He really loves Katrina. He is a school teacher, just like in the original. While in the Tim Burton adaptation, they changed it. He was a constable in that one. He's also he's very intelligent, which, if you're going to be a school teacher, then I'm assuming you're very intelligent. He's also very charming, and in this one, he plays the guitar and can sing, which I think that's gonna, not all women, but I think most women that would make them swoon. The fact that, a guy can, play guitar and can sing beautifully. So, and in fact, in the story, some of my favorite moments are him giving Katrina music lessons. And also, they have a song that he teaches her 2 songs that are for expressing their love for each other, which reminds me of in Moulin Rouge and Christian and Satine when they're working on that show for the Moulin Rouge Theater, and they end up because of course she has the Duke to contend with, they decide to create a secret song for each other, and that's Come What May, and they sing it, they perform it. It's their love duet to express their love, and the fact that Katrina and Ichabod have that reminds me of that. And I wish we could hear that song. I wish that there was a way to get access to that song, like if they ever adapted this one. Although I am, that maybe they would have a song, but Although, with that being said, I'm saying one of the things I did not love about this is how the outcome of the story, how things turned out. So, part of me would secretly hope they would change that, but I don't know, because the author might want them to stay true to her book, because of course it's her book being adapted, so she might prefer them to stay true to the ending, but part of me would kind of want them to change it. But unfortunately I can't tell you why I was not happy, because it would spoil things. Also, Braum, actually, even though I still hate his character, I'm still pissed at him, he still gets jealous and considers like about a rival and all the things that happen. What he did in the book is still included in the story, but he has some more nuance. You actually see that I think he genuinely does care about Katrina, and maybe there's some genuine love there, and he's not entirely just all about wanting to marry her because she's beautiful and wealthy. I mean, there is a little bit of that in there, but I feel like, and you find out that him and Katrina used to be friends when they were kids, but something came between them when they, at some point in their childhood. And he shows how much of an asshole he truly is. But there are, moments where he actually does show affection for Katrina, but his actions, kind of ruin any love Katrina or any respect Katrina would have for him throughout the story. But there is some, like, pity I think you could have for him. And then we have, what I also really love, not only does, like, Katrina have more of an active role, and she has more agency in the story because it's her story, but she has this beautiful friendship, first with the woman, this family servant that kind of helps take care of her and treats her like her own daughter, especially because you find out that she lost her daughter. She's also comes from slavery, and you find that their family is, unfortunately, like, her family is a little bit kinder to slaves, but they still own them. So it's like, okay, maybe they might be a little bit better, but not much, because they still own slaves. They still own them. And you find out that, so she sees Katrina as kind of her own daughter, but she still continues to think about what happened to her biological child. And so her and Katrina have this a very nice relationship, a very sweet relationship. We also have her relationship with Charlotte, who is her best friend, and I love their friendship. They're very supportive of each other. They take care of each other. The only thing is, but also Charlotte doesn't coddle Katrina. She tells her what she needs to hear and tries to do what she can to help Katrina so she doesn't do anything stupid. Because she is a young girl, like Katrina's a young girl, and very impulsive and very emotional. And her feeling, but there's still a great bond, a great friendship between the two of them. We also, with Charlotte, this is where we get the supernatural elements. Part of the supernatural, you find out that Charlotte is a midwife in training, and she knows a lot of cures and medicinal remedies that back then people potentially could see as, if something goes wrong, people could easily accuse her of being a witch. So there is a little bit of that in the story. In fact, that's what got between Braum and Katrina, is because he turned on Charlotte and accused her of being a witch. And but she is such a great addition, being such a great friend, and she does get her own romance. It doesn't play a prominent role, but it is in there, so there are those moments. And we get her reading tarot to, which I've always been intrigued by. I find that tarot really fascinating. I don't know if I would ever get into it myself, because one, I'd be worried about being judged by my family, and my family being worried about me messing with it. And two, I don't know I'd be getting into, I don't know if it'd be good to know the future. And, even if you make your own future, you might, if you got into it and start believing in it, it might mess with you a little bit. So, I prefer settling for seeing it in fantasy and, witch books and stuff, and TV shows and all that. But I do think it's a really fun concept. and we do get a little bit of that. We also get visions in the story, like characters having seen things, like, you know, seeing visions in water or glass, or in this case, we get a little bit of seeing visions in the fire, and I think that's also really cool. And Katrina herself, um, sees visions. She we so and they're and it kind of guides her in the story for her, you know, trying to get, you know, guides her through the story, but she's also scared of them and wary of them, and, you know, she has dreams, nightmares about the horsemen that Charlotte warns her might be visions, and they do help her, they guide her, but also it kind of like makes, you know, she also tries to ignore them because they scare her. And so that's where the supernatural element. With that being said, like I said, one of the things that I think I already said this, that one of the things that actually, wait, no, that was not. That was I. That's right. I mentioned that I didn't like the outcome of the story. Um. So the other thing I was not happy with was that there was not a lot of supernatural in the story. There was just like tarot reading and characters having visions, and, you know, but we didn't get as much, you know, like Katrina's not a witch like it is, you know, like what they did in Sleepy Hollow, the TV series on Fox, where they implied that Katrina was a witch, and the same thing with the Tim Burton film. And like I said, someone in one of the reviews I read, because unfortunately I made the mistake of letting myself get spoiled for an aspect of the story that I was not happy with, and, you know, I almost was tempted not to continue. It was one of these things where I bought it on my Kindle, it would be there, and I didn't want to, you know, I wanted to finish it. Um, so I'm glad, because I still enjoyed reading it, despite things I was disappointed by, I was not happy with. There were a lot of it that I liked. Like I said, I loved the romance. And the writing, and, you know, the author did create a great atmosphere that was actually kind of cozy, but also creepy at the same time. But anyway, back to what I was disappointed. I was disappointed by the lack of supernatural elements. In fact, we don't really see the ghost of the horseman. Like, you know, it's kind of like they suggest, which in a way, I guess the original story, that's how it was. But other versions have implied the headless horseman is real. Which this one does kind of do that. It does suggest that, but it straddles the line between, are these people just being silly and superstitious, or is there a real ghost? So it kind of, you know, straddles that line a little bit, and I have mixed feelings about that, because on the one hand, I kind of like, I always wanted to be supernatural, so it's a little frustrating, but it does add some tension and it does make you kind of nervous, and it's like, okay, is this thing real, or are we gonna find out these people are just imagining things, like letting their imaginations get the best of them? And that's what Katrina constantly says to make herself feel better. She thinks it's just her imagination running wild and there isn't a real ghost. But I think that I have heard that that the Headless Horseman was based on a real legend. That there really is a Headless Horseman. Because, I mean, of course, the American Revolution really did happen. Because we wouldn't be here today, where we are now, if it didn't happen. So yeah, I wish there had been more supernatural elements, and I kind of wish there was maybe an actual ghost. And maybe if there really was supernatural elements in the story, then maybe the outcome of the story would be more to my satisfaction. So basically, I feel like this was not bad. I didn't hate it. Like, I enjoyed reading it, and, like, I'm glad I kept going. But I definitely think it's more for people who enjoyed the story, they, like, enjoyed the Tim Burton film adaptation, and maybe enjoyed the original one, but are cool with and like a romance, because it's very romance heavy in the first half of the story. So if you like, the second half is kind of more of a mystery, and but if you like the romance, then I think this is more for you, if you enjoyed the romance. But if you wanted some more supernatural and action and all that, like ghostly apparitions and all that, then you might not love this as much. unless you're okay with stories that kind of suggest magic, but like less supernatural, but it's not a prominent feature. If you're okay with that, and like I said, there is tarot reading, character sign vision. So if you're cool with that, at least that little bit of witchcraft and all that, then maybe you'll still like it. So yeah, it's kind of more of I want to tell you guys so that maybe you could decide if you want to check this out or not. If you're a fan of Sleepy Hollow or any of the other adaptations like the cartoon or the Tim Burton film, or or if you were a fan of the Fox TV show that came out a few years ago, maybe you'll like this, maybe you won't. I don't know. But like I said, I wasn't 100% happy with it, but I didn't hate it either. So that is my review of the spellbook of Katrina von Tassel by Alyssa Palumbo. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give this a thumbs up. Click subscribe if you are interested in seeing more of my videos. Click the bell icon if you want to know when I upload those videos. And I hope you are enjoying your reading so far. And it's almost Halloween, so I hope you have a good Halloween. All right, bye.